Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is Basil Hayden Red Wine Cask Finish. This is a Basil Hayden whiskey that has a secondary finish in California red wine casks. The special release is ripe with cherries and dried fruit with notes of charred oak. It's saying the notes is dried fruit, vanilla, and a hint of toasted oak. I will go ahead and give just a little bit better picture of the front and then of the side. And this was actually gifted to me from my brother and my sister-in-law. Let's go ahead and take a sip. I went ahead and had this in ice for a little bit. I initially had this before. Every time I've had this before, it's been just neat. But you can tell I've kind of gone through quite a bit of it. I've really enjoyed this whiskey. This one is really, really good. Let's go ahead and take a sip of this with the ice melting. Oh, that is so delicious. Yeah, it's definitely. I think I definitely like this with a touch, a bit of ice. Just let that sit and melt for about 5 minutes or so. Definitely opened up the flavor in this one. Really, really enjoy this. I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way for now while we go ahead and get into the nerd stuff. And today's nerd stuff is the Ultimate Combat TCG game. I'm going to go ahead and open up this starter deck, and we're going to take a look and see what the cards look like. So this was a game that's been out. It was the early mid 90s, if I remember correctly. In the other video, I think I said it was 90. Let's say 95, 96 range. Yep, it was 95. But let's go ahead and open this. And I remember playing this quite a lot when it first came out. Mainly it's because I used to really be into the martial arts. And I thought it was kind of cool to mix a card game that had the fighting in there as well. So I'll go ahead and open that. I don't know what the rares were or what the good cards were. It's been a long time since I played this game. So we'll go ahead and see what we have. So we have the instruction manual, and we have, which looks to be the quick start rules. And then let's go ahead and start looking at our cards. We have attack movements, oxygen burst, shuffle, speed 1, adrenaline, stumble, trip, ukemi. I remember bad sushi. So you gotta. How can you not enjoy a card game that says bad sushi? Bad sushi. Any one opponent must immediately discard 3 random cards from their hand. You are what you eat. I remember we get a lot of laughs at this game. This particular card, I mean. Go ahead and take a sip. Front kick. Full Nelson. Headbutt. Headlock. Solar flex strike. Spear hand. Inside block. Finger lock. Inside hand block. Standing choke, inside hand block, high altitude. And I don't remember. I'll go ahead and kind of flip through some of these. I remember they're having, I think this might have been the rarity, the symbols right there. But I'll go ahead and flip through these a little bit quicker. I'm thinking these might have been the energy or the mana. Yeah, I think conditioning and experience. I want to say that the conditioning experience, knowledge, and all this, these were your resource cards, and you needed a certain amount of those resources to pull off certain moves. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Knowledge, fighting spirit, and I think a lot of these are going to be those resource cards towards the end. And then movement cards. But I remember enjoying this game a bit. I don't remember how much depth there really was to it. I just remember we had fun with it. There was this particular set, and I want to say there was one or two more sets that came after this. But we did play this quite a bit. I had quite a few decks in here, and we'd play it in between playing Magic and something else. This is at the time when a bunch of different card games were coming out. And this one didn't last too long. And you can actually find these pretty easily on eBay. I know I've got a tote full of a bunch of loose cards, of full sets, and some other cards in here. It was one of those things I found it interesting, and you know, back then I would keep all these that I found interesting in the box. I happen to have a ton of these that I had not opened yet, so I thought this was kind of cool, something to share. And then I'm going to go ahead and take another sip of this whiskey. Again, I've noticed the longer that the water is sitting in this, the more this really opens up. That is so good. Let me go ahead and show that bottle one more time. And this is the Basil Hayden red wine cask finish. And this was the Ultimate Combat trading card game, starter deck. Again, there was booster packs. There was all kinds of different things in here. It was a lot of fun. This game's definitely worth kind of, it's fun. It was fun just to kind of play and mess around with. It's not going to have the depth of Magic, Flesh and Blood, and some other games. But it was fun for what it was. It's kind of fun to break out if somebody's into TCGs and you kind of throw this out there, read the rules and play it, and it can definitely kill some time. Definitely recommend this particular whiskey, this Basil Hayden red wine cask finished. I think of all the Basil Haydens I've tried so far, this is definitely by far my favorite. And as I've mentioned in other videos, I love the ring on these, and because I think these make great D&D props, especially if you're playing the Curse of Strahd, and you're doing the ones that have the wine labels and stuff. It's kind of cool. But this is something I just wanted to share with everybody. If you liked the content, please feel free to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really would appreciate it if you subscribed. I notice I'm getting a lot of views, not so many subscriptions, but I know if this is not your cup of tea, that's cool. But if you like it, really would appreciate it. It's kind of cool, and I'll try and get more of these out on a more regular basis. And until next time, cheers.